Hello, and welcome to School News. We have a few announcements before we get started. Are you bored or looking for something to do at lunch? Go check out TAB. It's a book discussion group that meets every Wednesday in the library. Speaking of the library, remember to return your library books. Other students could be waiting for that exact book. There are still over 300 books overdue. Can you believe it? The third quarter starts this week. We're officially halfway through the school year. Keep up the good work. There's always room to improve. And your teachers are here to help. And last but not least, congratulations to James Lee for winning the DHMS Geography Bee for the second year in a row. Wow, that's impressive. That's it for me. Catch you next time.
Congratulations to the 2022 Science Fair finalists at Dorothyham Middle School. 9 projects have been selected to go to the Regional Science Fair. Congratulations to Nathan B., Kellen D., Elisha G., Aaron J., Noah K., Nadia L., Sebastian M., Abby S., Caroline S., and Caleb T. Congratulations for a job well done.
Before our school was Dorothyham Middle School, or HB Woodlawn, it was Stratford Junior High. And Stratford Junior High was the first school in Virginia to desegregate. It was 63 years ago, on February 2nd, that 4 African American students, Lance Newman, Ronald Deskins, Gloria Thompson, and Michael Jones, came down from a hill, still here today, and entered the building. For this broadcast, we were lucky enough to be able to speak with one of the students that first integrated our school, Michael Jones.
Hello, I'm Sebastian, and I'm going to be talking about the history of Halls Hill. Halls Hill, now known as Highview Park, is a neighborhood in Arlington, Virginia. The 4 students who integrated Virginia schools, Lance Newman, Gloria Thompson, Michael Jones, and Ronald Deskins, all lived in the Halls Hill neighborhood. Halls Hill began after Basil Hall, a plantation owner and slave owner, sold his land to his former slaves when they were freed. He had a past of being a violent slave owner, but he sold his land at a good price. Over the years, the neighborhood became mostly inhabited by African Americans. As segregation began, a wall was built to separate the white neighborhood of Woodlawn Park, now Waycroft Woodlawn, and Halls Hill in the 1930s. The wall still stands today, but a storm knocked part of it down in 2019. A marker commemorating the wall was put up in 2016, and it tells the history of the wall. You can visit the wall at the intersection between North Culpeper Street and 17th Road North. Halls Hill was a place of importance during the civil rights movement, as a lot of boycotts happened in the area. One notable figure was Douglas E. Moore. He led the Royal Ice Cream Sit-In in Durham, North Carolina. He and 6 others sat on booths at the ice cream parlor until the police came and charged them for trespassing. His connection to Halls Hill is that he became a pastor at Callaway Methodist Church until his death in 2019. Here he is in a picture with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in the front and Douglas Moore in the back. They both were classmates with each other at Boston University. The next place is Langston Brown Community Center. Langston Brown Community Center was built in honor of John Mercer Langston, an abolitionist and the first black man to represent Virginia in the House of Representatives. He is also the great-uncle of famous American poet Langston Hughes. Lastly, we have Fire Station 8. Fire Station 8 was established in 1918 and is a historical fire station because it was the only fire station servicing the Halls Hill neighborhood, and it was made up of black volunteers. This was before the county had an official fire department, but Fire Station 8 still stands today. Here are some pictures of the fire station then and now. In conclusion, the Halls Hill Highview Park neighborhood is full of history dating back to the Civil War. I would highly encourage you to visit some of these places and get to know them more. Thanks for joining me on this journey, and now we have a very special interview with one of the 4 original students that came and integrated Virginia schools, Michael Jones.
Hello DHMS students, my name is Sydney and today I am fortunate enough to be speaking with Mr. Michael Jones, who is one of the 4 children who integrated Stratford Junior High on February 2nd, 1959. Mr. Jones, I am honored to be here with you this evening. Would you mind answering a few questions?
Sure. Yep, I'll be glad to.
Great. Okay, so take me back to the night before you entered Stratford Junior High School for the first time. What was it like in your household?
Actually, it must have been pretty well because I don't remember too much about what happened that night, because if it had been real stressful, I probably remember it now, but I don't. So it was just a typical night. And probably the reason was, prior to that day and that night, we all, the 4 of us plus about 20 other students, had been through a lot of training over the past year or so in preparation for what was happening the next day. So we were, I think, well prepared for what was happening. And we were, I guess the parents, more so than students, were overjoyed that this desegregation integration was happening. So the night before, I just remember sleeping well, just getting ready for a new school the next day.
That's great. What school did you attend before Stratford, and what was it like to leave behind that school and classmates?
Okay, well, I grew up, and all of us grew up in the Halls Hill, Highview Park area of Arlington at that time. And it was a close-knit neighborhood because of that time. And so basically everyone in the neighborhood knew each other. And all of us attended Johnny M. Langston Elementary School. So we were, and we attended 2 different churches, Callaway United Methodist Church and Mount Salvation Baptist Church. Gloria and I went to Mount Salvation. Ronnie and Lance went to Callaway, which I attend now. So we were, very close to each other as far as families knowing each other. So we attended Johnny M. Langston for the 1st to the 6th grade. And for the first few months of the next year, once we went to 7th grade, we attended Hoffman Boston Elementary School, which is a school for all the black students in Alton County at the time. So we went there from September until January. And it was just like, I guess, somewhat like any student that goes from elementary to a high school or junior high. You meet new students, you have new classes, new teachers and all that. So that was kind of the same for us. It's just a little bit different going from an all-black school to an all-white school. And like I said, but the fortunate thing was we were as prepared as we could be for that to happen. Now, I know I miss being in class with people from my neighborhood and South Arlington, but after school was over, I saw them again. So it was just like, like a job, so to speak. You go to work with some people and you come home to your family. So that's how it was. That's how I felt about it.
Were you able to keep any of those friendships?
Well, yeah, sure. We still communicate today. Those people are still around. So the neighborhood's still there. A lot of us have, of course, moved out and don't live in Alton anymore. But due to Facebook and other social media apps, we're able to still connect with each other when things go on. And there is on Facebook, there is a Halls Hill app there. You can keep up with what's going on to the people who used to live in Halls Hill.
Oh, that's amazing. How How did you feel about going to Stratford, knowing the difficulties you would face?
Um, I felt exactly that, just going to a different school and all that, that's just a normal teenage difficulties. All the other things, we were taught that it was, in spite of the difficulties we had faced, this is going to be a good thing, not just for us, but for students coming behind us, and that we will have, we get better educations. We have better books, more classes, and it will be better for all of us as a whole in Virginia and throughout the United, all the schools that were integrated. We wouldn't be in two separate schools with getting different types of education. So we were taught to look at on the bright side and look at the future rather than how it was just for us at that particular time.
That's very wise advice. I saw a TV interview in which you said, at that time, I didn't realize the implication of what would come. We were just 12 years old. How have your feelings about that time period changed as you've gotten older?
Well, it's basically the same way I feel now. Certain things that you go through when you're young, you don't realize the effect that will have on you when you grow up. But this is a positive thing, not just for me, and I'm sort of like glad that I didn't realize the total implications at that time, because I might have reacted differently. I might have been more stressful or more stressed out. But because I wasn't completely aware of everything that was going on, I was a little calmer than I normally would be when I went through classes and things like that.
That is all my questions. Mr. Jones, thank you so much for your time. I really learned lots, and I hope the DHMS students learn a lot from you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the interview. Have a nice day.